a legend you are. Your history is just incredible, and you're still doing it. Before I take a walk back in time with you, you had a reunion of the Faces and you were making some new music. Where are you at with that?
Right, where we're at with the music now is we've recorded about 12 songs so far. Rod sang on about 6 of them. We're about let's say we're halfway through the album.
Is it coming up well?
We've still got to go in the studio and do some more stuff. So we found some old stuff that has not been released and reworked some of it and got some new stuff to go on there as well, new songs.
And are you happy with what you've got so far?
Oh yeah. It captures the good thing about the old songs that have not been released is we got that lovely magic atmosphere and lovely feel to going back in time 50 odd years.
I bet you never thought 50 years ago that you'd be re-releasing songs or doing it still today, did you?
I didn't think any of us would still be around, to be honest, but there you go. the way we partied.
I was going to say, you lived it pretty hard, huh?
Yeah.
So you'd have to describe those days as the good old days, right?
Good old days was in the Faces was like having a party every day, every night, every show we did. We were on stage and we had a party on stage and a party with the audience. The audience might as well have been on stage and we might as well have been in the audience. It was a great sort of party atmosphere. And we enjoyed every moment of it. We used to give the audience some wine and they gave us some wine. So we were getting drunk together.
Oh, how cool is that? So do you reckon that was a part of the secret of your success in the early days?
Oh, no, we just like to drink. As Rod says, my liver will never be the same. None of us.
It's lucky livers regenerate, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
What do you? I mean, it's obviously not the drinking that you most miss from those days. It can't possibly be. You did enough in those days to last you a lifetime. Well, if you had to point at something that you missed from those days, what would it be?
Being younger.
Hey,
no, I mean, the good thing is, you see, it's still carried on over all these years because Ronnie Wood and myself and Rod Stewart and Ian McLagan when he was alive, we all used to get together at least 2 or 3 times a year, to go out in the restaurant or a bar or somewhere and cause havoc.
You were really the naughty lads, weren't you?
So we still are when we get together, but it's great fun being with each other,
It's wonderful that you've maintained the friendship all of these years.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. But the pandemic has slowed us down somewhat because, we were supposed to get together to do a 50th anniversary tour, and now it's like 3 years later. So
you're waiting for 55, or you're going to go out and do it anyway?
We're going to we're probably going to do it. I think last time we met was only about a month ago in London, and we just all agreed that we'd tour in 23 to promote the album that we're going to come out in. It's going to come out in 23.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Any chance we'll see you this side of the world?
Well, I'd love to be. I'll tell you what, I'd love to come to Australia. I haven't been there for such a long time. I'd love to come to Australia and be a part of it over there. Also, my one of my sons is married. He's going to marry a New Zealand lady, so I'd love to play in New Zealand.
Yeah. It's been a long, long time since you've been here, hasn't it? When was the last time? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was with the Faces, funny enough.
Oh, really? That long ago?
Yeah. Oh God, I can't remember.
A long time.
70, 71.
Wow. How is your memory these days?
Pardon? What? Yeah, no, my memory's okay on certain days. Otherwise, it's fine.
But I think with age, no matter how much you've taken into your system, your short-term memory is not quite as good as what it used to be, for sure.
I have a very selective memory now.
Yeah, I'm told.
On purpose.
I'm told.
I'm older and wiser.
Yeah. Do you think, being older and wiser now, if you had the benefit of hindsight, would you have done anything differently?
I don't think so. I mean, apart from the crooks that are around in the music industry and that screwed us in the past, I'd get rid of them, straighten that one out. But other than that, I'm fairly content with what we've all achieved and what we've done.
Right. So tell me, how did you get into it in the first place? What were you doing before playing music, and how did you get a break?
Well, I was kind of a little tearaway in the East End of London with all my mod friends. We didn't know we were mods. We just created mods, you know, and just going up and down, causing havoc again, you know. And I fell in love with this banjo that was hanging in a pawn shop in Bethnal Green, and I saw it there, and I thought, oh, great, yeah, because my mate said, let's form a skiffle group. And I said, well, what's a skiffle group? He said, well, you get a tea chest and a broom handle, stick it in one end, one corner, and a piece of string and go to tie it to the corner, and that makes a bass sound. He said, and then you get your grandmother's
Washboard, yeah.
Yeah, and you get your grandmother's thimbles on each finger tip, and you just go up and down like that. By this time, I thought it was nuts.
And did you do it?
He said, well, there's one. Yeah, he said, there's on TV tonight. There's a skiffle group going to play. So we went back to watch it on my parents' TV, which was like those days. The TV is in black and white, and it's like looking at an eyeball.
I remember well.
Yeah. So the skiffle group came on, and it was Lonnie Donegan playing Rock on the Line, and I just fell in love with the banjo.
Wow.
So I went to get the banjo in the pawn shop, and it had gone.
Oh no.
So I said to the guy in the shop, I said, where's the banjo? He said, it's the guy, it's the pawn shop. The guy's paid for it and got it, taking it back home.
Yeah.
So we go and get it. He said, I can't get it. So I said, well, look, you know, so we walked away, and my friend said to me, you're really upset about this, and I said, yes, I am. I said, but, you know, what can I do? He said, well, look, my friend's got a drum kit, so I'll get him to bring it around this afternoon. I said, yeah, great. So he brought it around that afternoon, and it ended up being one bass drum, one floor tom-tom, and one broken stick. So I put it together and banged away, God knows what, and that's it. That was my introduction to drumming. So I learned to play on 1.5 sticks and bits of drums.
How amazing. And of course you were still at school at this time, weren't you?
Oh yeah, of course, in Abbotsford School. I eventually bought a drum kit I won't bore you with the long story of it, but it's I ended up with this drum kit because I found the receipt literally the other day. I don't know why. It was £64, 13 shillings and twopence.
Wow, that was a lot of money in those days.
I know. I had to steal £10 out of my mum's purse when she was at work.
But you'd saved up the rest to be able to buy it?
No, it was on HP. The only HP I knew was HP Source.
So was your mum mad?
No, she didn't know about it until I told her.
You told her.
Then she went, oh, don't do that, Kenny.
So you started bashing away.
I said to my mum afterwards, you know, when we had the first hit record, I said, that's the best £10 you've ever invested in someone.
Yeah, I'm sure she got her just rewards from your hits too. But so you were at home bashing away on the drums, teaching yourself to play? Yeah,
I used to wake up in the morning and play drums. The whole, you know, our street was a terraced house street, and it's still there.
What does that mean?
It means, you know, terraced houses all joined up together.
Oh, terrace house. I thought you said terrorist.
Oh, no, not terrorist.
You were the only terrorist.
I was the only terrorist, noisy terrorist, I think. Because basically, I used to wake up in the morning before I went to school, just get straight on the drums, play for like half an hour, and then go to school, came back at lunchtime, played all the way through lunchtime, go to school, come back again, played all the way through from like sort of 3:30 or 4 o'clock, all the way through to that pulled me off the drums.
Wow. So
So
when
the neighbours were not very happy with me.
I bet they weren't. When did you decide that this was going to be your full-time career?
I didn't. I just that was it. I was possessed by drums, and I knew that that's what I was going to do. I just wanted it, you know. And I got introduced to different music, and I eventually found a pub that was had a jazz band playing in it. So I went up to this pub, which was literally around the corner from where I live, and watched the drummer. His name was Roy, and he's a jazz drummer with a band. And so I watched him for a couple of weeks, and then he came over afterwards. I had a break in between the songs, and he said, "Are you taking the piss out of me?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well," he said, "you keep blinking at me." I said, "Oh, I know why." I said, "You because when you play, you blink, you go like that." And he went, "No, I don't." I said, "Yeah, well, yes, you do." And he went, "No, I don't." So we had a good old laugh like that. And I got to know him over the next couple of weeks. Then he said, made an introduction. He said, "We've got someone, a young guy's going to get up and play now." I thought, great, I'm going to watch another drummer. And he introduced me. I couldn't believe it.
And you got your turn.
So, I sat behind the drum kit, and I looked up at these guys, and they looked like giants, you know, when I was sitting there. And they looked down at me, and they just said, everything happened in slow motion. It was like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it sounded like 1, 2. So we ended up playing, and I was in heaven. The first time I played with a band, it was like breaking sort of things with your umbilical cord, breaking all ties with the earth. I just floated.
Wow, you had an out-of-body experience.
Yeah,
amazing.
And I just got into music, and then I discovered the Shadows and Jimmy McGriff, different jazz stuff. So I was really, and I just discovered music generally.
And what led you to forming the Faces in '65?
Well, what happened was when I was playing on that day with that band, that, you know, when they introduced me, the barman came up to me afterwards and said, "Oh, Kenny," he said, "that was really great." He said, "Really good." He said, "Are you in a band?" I said, "No, I'm forming one now." He said, "Well, look, my brother has just bought a guitar and he's learning how to play it. Shall I bring him down next week?" I said, "Yeah, great." And so the next week, in through the door walks the barman, right behind him, his brother, and that was Ronnie Lane.
Oh, wow.
So Ronnie and I hit it off straight away. I kept laughing at him because he had a suit on, which looked very smart, a grey suit, and a shirt that sort of stuck out like that, and a tie. And every time he turned, the tie would stay there like that. So I started laughing at him. So what are you laughing at? Oh, dear. So we hit it off straight away.
Oh, how awesome. As a mod, I mean, there were the mods and the what were the other ones? The mods and the bodgies, the mods and the
rockers.
The mods and the rockers, right? Well, I know what the rockers used to wear. What did the mods have to wear? What were you dressed as?
Well, we were making up as we went along, you know, because I mean, I growing up in the East End of London after the Second World War, we played on bomb ruins and stuff like that, and everyone was wearing black and white and grey, so there was no real colour. I felt like I was growing up in black and white. And one day I went on a bus to Aldgate East, and a lot of people will know where that is if they remember. There was a shop there, and it had a red Caravelle jumper in the window. It stood out like I couldn't believe it. So I thought, I've got to have that. So I saved up, and it was 30 shillings, which is a lot of money in those days. So I saved up over a couple of weeks, and I bought this red shirt, red Caravelle, and I put it on, and I bleached my Levi jeans white, and that's what I thought I'd like. So I became a bit more stand out, you know. Yeah.
Have you still got that shirt today?
No, they sell it in Carnaby Street now.
It's all back in fashion again. Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's hilarious. So you started with the Faces, and it wasn't
Yeah,
very long until you had your first big hit, was it?
we had our first big hit called "What You Gonna Do About It" in 1965, and I couldn't believe it. The first time I heard it on the radio, I thought, I can't believe it. This is us. You just don't realise how exciting it was to hear yourself on the radio.
Who was writing your material?
It was it was Ian Samwell and Mort Schumann.
Okay, so you'd like bought the song in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you were, I can imagine you'd be puffing out your chest with that first hit, and it was all happening. Or was all happening? What happened next?
We puffed out a lot of stuff. No, what happened was we insisted on writing our own material after that. So the next song we put out was a single called "I've Got Mine." I got mine.
I remember that.
And that flopped.
Oh.
So it didn't enter the chart. Entered the charts in the high end, you know.
Right.
And so our manager Don Arden at the time was having none of it. He said, "I can't afford that to happen again." He said, "So we can't afford. We've got to have a hit next time." So I've asked Kenny Lynch and Mort Schumann to write a song, and so they wrote a song, and it was called "Sha-la-la-la-lee."
Right, and that went
So
gangbusters.
Went into Decca Records, and we recorded that song. And I'll never forget, I was getting quite busy with the song, trying to find a drum part to it. And then Kenny Lynch said to me, pressed the buzzer in the guitar, and said, "Kenny," he said, "whatever you do, don't play anything you can't mime to." And I, oh God, because those days he used to mime on TV.
Yeah, of course. Wow. So you did lots of TV appearances. They were the days of Top of the Pops and all of those shows, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, what we were talking about yesterday when I was rehearsing with another band, I think one of the things we were talking about was the fact that All or Nothing was our first #1 hit, but we shared it and made history by sharing it with the Beatles because they had Yellow Submarine out at the time. So Yellow Submarine and All or Nothing was #1 spot between the two of us. Right. Never been done before.
Amazing. Were they inspirational to you?
I think you have to say yes, because basically, you know, they were around at the time. They were a bit before us as well, and the Stones. And so, you know, you had to listen to them. And we loved the Beatles. I mean, they're great. I mean, everyone loved the Beatles at the time. They're making a big statement in life. Yeah.
And were you also influenced at the time by American music, by starting to hear that for the first time? Or were you You were?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Steve Marriott was really into all that stuff. He loved Ray Charles, you see, Steve.
Right.
So he turned me on to Ray Charles, and I love Ray Charles. I love Nat King Cole. That's one of my greatest singers.
Is that right? Wow. I wouldn't have picked that one.
I know, but he's a great singer.
Amazing. And when did Itchy Coo Park come along?
I can't remember now. Well, I don't know what date it was. 1960s.
No, but it wasn't a long time. I mean, the Faces were only 65 to 69, so obviously it was within that period.
Within that time, anyway. But Itchy Coo Park came around because we recorded a song for a laugh. You know, didn't really think much of it really. It was quite commercial, but we didn't really. We were trying to lose our commercial image, so we kind of parked it for a bit. And it was a song about, because I mean, in the East End of London, because I grew up with short trousers, everyone was wearing short trousers because we were all kids, and we played on these bomb ruins, and through the bomb ruins used to be this great big horrible stinging nails. It's a poke up through the rubble. Oh. And so if one of those caught you on the leg, you know it's itchy. Itchy.
Oh, really? So it was a kind of nickname for where you used to play, Itchy Coo Park.
Well, yeah, that was my Itchy Coo Park, and Ronnie Lane and Steve Marriott in Ilford. They came from Ilford, a bit further on. They said, "We've got an Itchy Park as well."
Oh, how amazing!
It's full of stinging. It was like a park. It was a park, but it was all never really well looked after, and so lots of stinging nails in it.
And that song was one that you guys wrote?
Yeah, that's right. So he wrote Itchy Coo Park.
Wow, isn't it?
What did you do?
It's incredible to have grown up with a song like that. I mean, from in my own life, and to know all of the words and have no idea what they were about.
Yeah,
so thanks for.
There's always something when you write a song. You know, it's always. I mean, I love songs that mean something. You know, that come from somewhere. You know, otherwise you just writing. It's like writing fiction. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And does your Itchy Park still exist?
Yeah, no, because they're built all over the East End now. But all the bomb ruins are gone now.
No more nails in there at all.
It's happening in Ukraine at the moment.
They've got their own. I shouldn't be laughing. That's not funny. Not funny at all.
Funny enough, I'm doing 2 charity concerts in local to where I live for Ukraine.
Are you? You're not live streaming them?
No, because it's done at the spur at the moment to raise money as quick as we can.
Ah, what a shame! Couldn't you pull a live stream together? We want to see them.
Well, what we're going to do. This is only the start of things to come. So what we're trying to do is put a much bigger show together, involving lots more people. So it is on the cards.
Oh, good. Well, we'll look forward to that. Kenny Jones, why did Steve Marriott leave the band in '69?
Well, he was just as frustrated as the rest of us about these. When we were playing, because we had all these screaming girls all the way through, you know, which was lovely at first. And then suddenly you can't hear yourself for the screams, you know. Also, are you still there?
Yeah. Oh, you've gone dark.
I've gone. There's no way I've gone.
I can hear you. Don't worry about it.
I know.
I'm worried that iPhone will run out of battery.
No. Oh, I know what it is. Someone's trying to ring.
Okay. I'll wait. There you go. You're back.
All right.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, no. It was, you know, we had this teeny bopper image which we just could not shake off, you know. So I think it got to Steve more than it got to us, you know, he just couldn't take it anymore. So he walked off stage in Alexandra Palace where we were playing and didn't tell us. So that was a bit I didn't like.
I mean, I can imagine the adoration by all the little teeny bopper girls would have been more difficult to take than it appeared. I mean, from the outside, it would seem so much fun and glamorous, but all the time would be much. But did that challenge the seriousness?
I think it wasn't so much. I mean, you have to say that it was that was happening to the beat. It was happening to most bands, you know?
Yeah.
But I think what got to us more than anything was the fact that we were completely under pressure to write commercial songs, short hits.
Right. So it was challenging the seriousness of your musicianship.
Yeah, exactly. So we were all good players. We became, you know, still learning the craft and still learning to play with each other. But this commercialism just got in the way.
Right. And where'd you find Rod Stewart?
We found him in the gutter. So, no, I'm only joking. When the band split up, when the band split up, Steve Marriott had gone, and so that powerful voice wasn't there anymore. So we were completely lost. You know, it's like you lost a brother, and because we're all very close to each other, and so the Stones said, look, we've got a warehouse in Bermondsey in the East End of London where we keep all our stuff. And we've got a soundproof room in there, a small room, but go in there and you know, play together and just till you know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So the three of us used to get together and just jam for a bit. Anyway, this went on for a few weeks. And then Ronnie Lane brought down his new next door neighbour, and that was Ronnie Wood. Ronnie Wood came. He said, I said, but you play bass. He said, no. He said, I'm learning to play guitar. I mean, I've got a guitar. I said, I want to switch from bass to guitar. So he played along with us, and we just got along like house on fire again. Uh-huh. And then that went on for a couple of weeks, and then Ronnie Wood. I call him Woody because there were two Ronnies in the band. Woody brought down his best mate, which was Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart sat on the amps watching us for a couple of weeks, and then, you know, I said, look, we're going to get serious here. and we got to try and, we need to sing, not just keep jamming. So Ronnie Lane sang, and his beautiful, wonderful sounding voice he's got. And then Mac sang. I went, yeah. And then Ronnie Wood sang. I went, yeah. Okay. But you still miss this powerful voice. And all the time, I'm looking at Rod sitting on the amps. I knew he was a great singer. So we used to go up to the pub in the middle of rehearsals, have a break. And so this one time we went up the pub, and I said to Rod, can I have a private word? He said, yeah, what's up? So we ran the corner. I said, I'd like you to join the band. He said, do you think the others would let me? I said, yeah. And that evening, Alvin Lee was having a party, a drinks party in his house. So we went back there for a party. And I said to the guys, look, come on, I need to talk to everyone. I said, look, I've asked Rod to join the band. I know oh no, we don't want another prima donna. We don't want someone walking out on us again. And I just stuck to my guns. I just said no. And I won.
Was a good call.
Rod entered,
Right.
So Rod entered the band.
And both Ronnie Wood and Rod Stewart they'd both been with the Jeff Beck group, hadn't they?
That's right. They're on with the Jeff Beck group, and they were on a wage as well.
And it was then that you changed the name from the Faces to the Small Faces. You changed the name from the Small Faces to the Faces. Is it true you did that name change because the small face, it's hard to say, the small faces reflected the stature of the members, and you couldn't keep the small faces because both Ronnie Wood and Rod Stewart were so tall?
No.
It's not a true story.
That's a pretty obvious one, but the thing is, the truth of the matter is that we managed to get a manager called Billy Gaff, and he got us a deal with Warner Brothers, and we went to sign the contract, and I said, hold on a minute, it says Small Faces here. And I said, all right, let me go back a bit. My accountant said to me, what are you going to do now? And I said, well, we're gonna get a record deal, we're gonna, get an advance and all that. He said, how much are you going to get? And I couldn't think of a figure figure came into my head, and I said, £30,000. He went, telephone numbers. Typical accountant. So I said, okay, right. So when Billy Gaff went to get the deal done for Warner Bros., he said, how much do you think I should ask for the advance? And I said, well, £30,000, not a penny more, not a penny less. So I just wanted to prove to my accountant that we could do it.
Yeah, got it. Right. So, I mean, you started off calling yourself the Faces. Was there a reason you called yourself the Faces?
No, we didn't. No, what happened was we sat down to sign the contract with Warner Bros., and it said Small Faces on it. So I said, we're not Small Faces. We're a completely different band. The Small Faces are finished, gone. I said, so we got to get another name. I said, no, we signed you as the Small Faces because you've got a name. So if you can't have the £30,000 unless you call yourself the Small Faces. So I decided, okay, the first album was going to be called Small Faces. And then I said, but from there on in, after that, we're going to take the small off.
Okay. We were confused here in audience land as to why you did that.
For money.
Well, that's a pretty good reason, isn't it? Kenny Jones, I just need to say that Zoom is going to throw us off in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. If we go black and it throws us off, can you just come back in again with the same link?
I'll try, yeah.
Okay, I'll talk fast now. I'm sure you'll be able to. So what about Tin Soldier? That was another one of your huge hits. What was that one about?
You have to listen to the lyrics and the sentiment that's in the lyrics.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll have a listen to that one now. So what happens after? So you've got Rod Stewart with you. You're the small. Now you become the Faces. And in 1978, Pete Townsend says to you, "Come and join the Who."
That's right. Keith had not long been died, and only about 3 months later, I get a call from Bill Curbishley, the Who's manager, saying, he said, Kenny said, I'll come straight to the point. He said, the Who have had a meeting and they want to stay together and they want you to join the band. I said, oh, great. I said, that's very nice of them, Bill. I said, great. I'm really flattered. I said, but I can't. He said, what? I could hear his chin drop on the floor. I said, I can't do it because I said, I'm already forming a band with our producer, KENNEY Jones. They're putting a band together, which is half American and half English.
Right.
It's like a cross between American Eagles and a sort of UK Eagles.
The Faces had already fallen apart at that time.
No, yes, that's right. So yeah, the Faces are gone by then.
Right. So how did you get together with the Who?
Well, he said, look, Pete's coming into the office a bit this afternoon. Coming over. I said, always happy to see Pete because we used to work and tour together anyway as the Small Faces and the Who. So I knew everybody quite well enough anyway. So I went into the office and we had a chat for about a couple of hours, just me and Pete and Bill Kirbishley, the manager. We all had a great laugh. And then halfway through this meeting, Pete just said, oh, Kenny, you've got to join her. You're one of us. You're a mod. You know, you come through the ranks with us. I said, well, look, I told him I was just in the middle of forming a band and we were just about to sign with Atlantic Records. And he said, I said, I'll tell you what. I said, let me go and have a word with the band and see if I'm going to upset them. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it. Luckily, they were in town that night, the American side of it. So I went back to the band. I said, look, I've been asked to join the Who. And they went, Kenny, you've got to do it. You've got to join the Who. It's like that. So they were very graceful about it. So that's how I ended up in the Who.
Wow. Because obviously...
But I did say as a condition to Pete, I said, look, there's no way I'm going to copy Keith Moon. There's no way. Keith was unique, and I like some of the fills he does, which I'd love to play here and there. The song lends itself to it. I said, but other than that, I'm a completely different drummer. I'm a straighter drummer. You know, he said, no, we have a chance to do something completely different.
Right. Did that get up Roger Daltrey's notes?
Huh?
Was Roger Daltrey upset about that you were a straighter drummer than Keith had been? No.
What happened was because it's something I insisted on. I said because there's no way I'm going to be. There's only one. Let me just get this out of the way. There's only one drummer for the Who, and that's Keith Moon. Always will be in my book.
Right.
So I can only do me. I can only play me. If they ask me to join the band, I'll play me. And of course, I'm playing to great songs, so I'm going to do the best I can. And they wouldn't have asked me. They knew the kind of style of the drummer I was.
Yeah, they asked you for you, right?
So I said, look, you know, I'm a straighter drummer. I said, but you know, I don't know. I'll do my best and fit in where I can, you know. And because Pete said, you know, we can do something completely different now. So we never ever did get around to doing something completely different. So the albums I did was what they were. So, which was your favourite Who song? What do you enjoy playing on most? I think Won't Get Fooled Again, because I won't get fooled again. And you were on the Tommy recording too, weren't you? Yeah. Well, when Keith was alive, Keith was sort of out of it a little bit, so he was back and forth with his Swedish girlfriend or whatever, and so I ended up playing on Tommy and the sound check, and that's how, you know. So I kind of, when we toured together as well, I'd kind of got together with just on the road, and I just do some of the sound checks with Pete and the rest of the band. Sounds like a whole lot of fun to me. Was it? Yeah, there's lots of different things like that, which gave us more of a closer connection to the Who in a sense. And I used to play on a lot of demos for the Who with me and Pete. Was it good fun? Mm. And you're still playing today? Oh yeah, still playing today. And you still love it as much? Oh yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I mean, it's something. Once you learn to play drums and an instrument, you know, you it's part of you. You can't stop it. It's like a drug.
Are you still learning, or have you totally mastered it?
No, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. So, it's always fun to discover new stuff and like that. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on this fabulous career that you've had, Kenny Jones. I can't wait for the new Faces album to come out. You've just had the most extraordinary life. I guess you were just never destined to be a teacher or a psychologist or a bricklayer or anything like that, huh?
or a little tea leaf.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for talking with us today, Kenny. What a pleasure.
That's all right. Pleasure, Sandy.
Lovely meeting you.